Have good credit. Go to work. Pay your taxes. Eat healthy. Food is bad. Food is evil. Food is filled with poisons. Keep your head up. Traffic, traffic, traffic. Check engine light. Phone call, text, phone call, text, text. Are we gonna see you at the family reunion? You never come. Work, 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 work. What are we eating? I don't know. What are we eating? I don't know. Password can't be the same as the old. Pay a bill, pay a bill, pay a bill. Can't sleep. Drink your tea. Take a nap. Wake up. Can you come pick me up? Hello? Are you coming? How's your 401k? You want to diversify? Government, politics, president. Drink plenty of water. Water got microplastics. What? Take out the trash. 10,000 steps. Car breakdown. Tires. 2 tires with the wire showing. Swipe, 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 swipe. Decline. Sick of this.
If you have noticed that no matter how much you plan, your paycheck seems to vanish before the sun goes down, you are not imagining it. You pay your rent, you buy your groceries, and you think you are finally in the clear for the month. And then comes the financial jump scare. A car registration arrives in the mail. An insurance premium jumps by 20%. A medical bill appears that your coverage decided not to cover. People are doing everything right, working 40 or 50 hours a week and still finding themselves one unexpected bill away from zero. I'm John Marks. If you enjoyed this kind of content, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. More videos are coming.
Can we have an honest conversation? What the hell is really going on right now? I am at a point in my life, I'm 32 going on 33 this year. I'm at a point where I have my career, I'm making life-changing money. Like, if this was me back in 2018, my God. But anyway, that's not the point. I make great money, but it doesn't feel like it. And I'm so confused. Like, this economy is so trash. And I don't want to hear anybody talking about, oh, you're living above your means or you're not saving. Saving? Jesus Christ. Like, gas is almost $5 a gallon. Getting fruit at the grocery store is like $8. What did I see for $8 the other day? Was it grapes? It was something. And I was just like, I just feel like y'all not mad enough. Like, I feel like I am being ripped off. Like, I'm unmarried. I don't have kids. So, of course, there's no benefit to that. We don't get any tax breaks. We don't get nothing. America hates single people without kids. Let's just say that. But seriously, something has got to give. Like, I am so tired. I'm tired of this. How are y'all doing it? I feel like no matter how much money you make, we all just trying to survive right now. Yeah.
It's going to get to the point, if this doesn't slow down, that it's going to be unaffordable and unincentivized to drive to work. And you have essential workers who are spending $100 on a tank of gas, $50 on a tank, more than they're used to. And I don't want to hear you say, oh, well, then just get a better job. They already have the better job. They're already the ones making $40+ an hour. How are people on 20, 15 doing this?
Some people out here knowing they just got paid and that whole paycheck gone. Like it make you just want to just get on some YN shit. How you gonna get paid the same day and the whole paycheck gone before the sun go down? Boy.
I'll literally never shut up about this shit because it doesn't make sense. I make $11 more than the minimum wage from my state. I make $16 more than the federal minimum wage across the United States. And it still is not enough to afford an apartment on my own. And if I can afford an apartment on my own, it will take every last dollar out of my fucking paycheck each and every month. It will take every last dollar to be able to afford to do that and pay for groceries and save up for car maintenance and emergency fund and whatever the fuck I need money for. It will take every last dollar. There will be no room for fucking actually living life. And I make $11 more than the minimum wage. Minimum wage, if I might remind you, was created to kind of relinquish some of the minimum wage, in case I need to remind you all, was literally created during the Great Depression to create a base rate that you can pay your employers to reduce exploitation, to reduce poverty, and to increase consumer buying power during the Great Depression. What we are living in right now is something 10 times worse than the Great Depression. And it is literally being thrown in our, like, we see it, bro. It is literally, we are being paid double and triple the amount of the federal minimum wage, and it is still not enough to live on your own comfortably. And then on top of that, we have women out here. I'm speaking from a man perspective. We have women out here that will look at a man or look at this video right now and they'll be like, I don't want to be with him because he's broke. Brother, we live in a time so fucking bad now that women have to start working. It's not optional. Women don't get to choose anymore. Oh, I want to be the stay-at-home, or I want to do that. No, women actually have to start working because of how terrible it is out here trying to live on your own. You literally have to. There is no more. There isn't, like, bro, nobody can fend for themselves out here making the minimum. The minimum was supposed to be put in place so that we can still afford basic necessities of life. That's literally the fucking point. We are literally supposed to be able to afford the basic necessities of life, and motherfuckers are still homeless. Motherfuckers put in 40 to 60 hours a week and are still can't afford an apartment, let alone a house. Forget a fucking house, an apartment, bro. So here's what's gonna happen. I do not give a shit no more, bro. I don't care, bro. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna take what money I make, bro, and I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want with it, bro. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I wanna get that meal, bro, from that fast food meal, or I wanna go and eat something nice one day. I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't give a shit. I wanna make a mod on my car and always have the cool little toy car that I've always wanted since I was a kid. I'm gonna fucking make it into that. I don't give a fuck about what am I doing this for. We doing all of this shit just to have no time for ourselves, not be paid enough to enjoy the fruits of our labor, and then to possibly just die one day randomly from overstress, overworking, and then not being worth a damn. Fuck out of here, bro. I'm over it. Like, am I tripping, bro? Please, bro. I need someone to tell me that I'm not tripping because this shit drives me crazy.
If I come to work next week and I say, you know what? I'm going 20 times harder. I'm going to answer 50 more phone calls. I'm going to make 100 more phone calls. I'm going to throw 1,000 more boxes. I'm going to staple of 5,000 more pieces of paper. My paycheck going to be the exact same. Man, when I had that thought in my head at FedEx, I said, man, job ain't for me, man. I'm not saying it ain't for everybody, but boy, it ain't in my spirit. I'd be damned if I come to work and I'm throwing 1,000 more boxes on the truck, but my paycheck gonna be the same.
$20 an hour after 30-something years? Come on, man. Over 30, going on 36 years and all I'm making is $20 an hour? And somebody coming in the door right now gonna make $18 and $19, $20. And they ain't even gonna work hard. They ain't gonna be dedicated like I have been. Check my record. See my record tender. I go to work every day. We talk about the COVID. Al y'all was the one when they shut down Bowlers Lane on y'all. Al y'all was the one when out there and picked trash up. Yeah, y'all gave me, what you call that little pay thing? At $200 every week. Like, yeah. But Al y'all, we was the one out there. When everybody said every yard down, we was out there. I was out there. 67 years old, man. And while I still go to work like everybody else, I got a family to take care of, man. And then y'all were talking about, supervising them always talking about, well, call your union for what? How often do you see a union come to the yard and see what's going on with us? Come out in the field. Only time I seen a union man all years only time they come out is when it's time to vote. They come out with their little pen and their little Aflac duck. You can take the Aflac duck and nothing. I'm serious, man. You don't even hardly see no union representative come out there to see what's going on with y'all. When we get a union, when you get a raise, everything 2%. We don't get the 2%. We might get half of it. Take 1 penny and cut it in half. We got half, and the rest go to everybody else but us. Yeah. I like to ask the union people, how do the Bahamas look? I ain't never been to the Bahamas. I can't take trips like that. I can't afford it. You know? You give trash fees, you want to charge it, but you're taking out money and stuff like that. That's why I don't go to none of that stuff. I gotta take a cut and pay, man. Thanks, man.
Of being an adult is just getting hit with an unexpected bill right after you think you're in the clear. You know, it's like constant financial jump scares. You know, you finally feel like you caught up, nothing's due, the credit cards are handled, and then bam, there's the email. There's that letter in the mail. Hey, Ethan, did you forget your car registration's due this week? Sure did. Thanks for the reminder. Hey, Ethan, your pregnant wife had her routine visit this week. Yeah, the same one she's had for all 3 pregnancies. But here's the portion of your bill that the insurance didn't cover. Oh, that's just great. Dear Ethan, your home insurance premium is due this month. We'll look out for your payment. Yeah, I'm sure you will. You know, and it's never something small, and it's always at the worst possible timing. Right after you feel like you got some momentum, and next thing you know, you're sitting there like, where did all this come from? But the worst part about it is, like, usually it's your fault. You know, it's something you forgot or you missed or hadn't thought about in a while, but it still feels personal. You know, it feels like half of adulthood is just like thinking you're in the clear and then immediately not being in the clear.
You can be sitting here like, yes, my bills are paid. I'm good for the next 30 days. And life will be like, yeah, no. You're actually out of laundry detergent, shampoo, and paper towels. Yeah, yep, you need gas too. Oh, did I forget to mention that you need an oil change?
Let us start with the most common experience in America right now, the disappearing paycheck. You go to work, you put in your 40 or 50 hours, you do what you are supposed to do. Friday arrives and the direct deposit hits your account. But before the sun goes down on payday, the money is already spoken for. The mortgage or rent takes half, the utilities take another piece, the car payment takes what is left, and suddenly you are sitting at your kitchen table on a Friday night, realizing that the money you traded a week of your life for is already gone. This is not happening because people are living completely above their means. It is happening because the baseline cost of simply existing has outpaced the wages of the middle class. And people feel it. They feel it when they swipe their card at the grocery store, they feel it at the gas pump, and it is driving a profound sense of exhaustion across the country. You can have good credit, you can pay your taxes, you can do everything society asked of you, and you still end up feeling like you are constantly running on a treadmill that is slowly increasing its speed. The psychological toll of this cycle is enormous. It changes how you view your own life. When every single dollar is allocated before it even reaches your hands, you stop feeling like a participant in the economy and start feeling like a conduit. The money just passes through you. It goes from your employer straight to the utility company, to the landlord, to the grocery chains. You are doing all the labor, but you do not get to keep the fruits of that labor. That is a fundamental shift in the American experience. A generation ago, a steady job meant you could build a buffer. Today, the buffer is gone. But the regular bills are only half the problem. The real pressure comes from what many people are now calling the financial jump scare. You finally feel like you have caught up. Nothing major is due for the next 30 days. You think you have a moment to breathe, and then you check your mail. It is your car registration, and it is higher than last year. Or it is a notice from your homeowner's insurance telling you your premium is going up by 20%. Or you take your car in for a standard oil change, and the mechanic tells you that you need 2 new tires because the wires are showing. Half of being an adult in America today is just getting hit with an unexpected bill right after you think you are in the clear, and it never stops. These are not luxury expenses. These are the costs of maintaining a normal life. But because the margins for the average family are so incredibly thin right now, a $400 unexpected expense is no longer an inconvenience. It is a crisis. It wipes out whatever small savings you managed to build over the last 3 months. And that resets the clock back to zero. The exhaustion comes from the constant hypervigilance. You can never truly relax because you are always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You hesitate to check your email because there might be a notice from your child's school about an unexpected fee. You dread answering the phone because it might be a medical billing department telling you that your routine checkup was not fully covered by your insurance. This is not how a healthy society functions. A system where ordinary people live in constant fear of a moderate, predictable expense is a system that is failing its middle class. And here is the part nobody is talking about. This is no longer just a problem for the working poor. It has completely swallowed the middle class. There was a time when making $80,000 or $90,000 a year meant you had made it. It meant you could afford a decent house, take a family vacation, and put something away for retirement. Today, there are people making what they consider to be life-changing money, and they are completely confused as to why they feel so broke. They are looking at their bank accounts and asking themselves where the money is going. The answer is everywhere. It is going to $8 grapes at the grocery store. It is going to gas that hovers near $5 a gallon in many places. It is going to insurance premiums that have skyrocketed. If you are making $20 or $30 an hour today, you are essentially earning the purchasing power of someone making minimum wage 10 years ago. And when people who make good money voice this frustration, they are often told to stop buying coffee or to budget better. But you cannot budget your way out of structural inflation. You cannot budget your way out of a system that charges you more for the exact same standard of living every single year. The confusion is palpable. People who did everything right, who got the degrees and climbed the corporate ladder, are looking around and wondering if they missed a step. The reality is that they did not miss anything. The ground simply shifted beneath their feet. When basic necessities consume 70 or 80% of a good income, that income ceases to be good. It just becomes the new baseline for survival. This brings us to the core promise of the American economy. The promise was always simple. If you work hard, you will get ahead. But for millions of Americans, that equation is broken. Consider the people who physically keep this country running. The delivery drivers, the warehouse workers, the sanitation crews. Many of these people are in their 50s or 60s. They have been at their jobs for over 30 years. And they are making $20 an hour. They show up every day. They worked straight through the events of 2020 while the rest of the world shut down. And their reward is a paycheck that barely covers their rent. If they decide to work 20 times harder tomorrow, if they throw 1,000 more boxes or make 100 more phone calls, their paycheck will be exactly the same. The incentive to go above and beyond has been completely stripped away, and that is a dangerous place for a society to be. When the working class realizes that extra effort does not lead to extra stability, the entire engine of the economy starts to stall. People are not quitting because they are lazy. They are tapping out because the game feels rigged. For decades, the implicit contract was that loyalty to a company would be rewarded with security. That contract has been torn up. Now, a worker with 3 decades of experience makes only slightly more than a new hire walking through the door. The institutional knowledge they bring, the reliability, the physical toll on their bodies, none of it is reflected in their compensation, and when they look to their unions or their representatives for help, they often find empty promises and token gestures. The feeling of abandonment is deep and it is entirely justified. And for the younger generation entering the workforce, the math is even more discouraging. Let us look at the federal minimum wage. It was originally established during the Great Depression to ensure a baseline standard of living. It was meant to prevent absolute poverty and give workers enough buying power to participate in the economy. Today, we have young adults making $15 or $16 above the federal minimum wage, and they still cannot afford a one-bedroom apartment on their own. Even making double or triple the minimum wage is not enough to secure basic housing without completely emptying your bank account. If you manage to pay the rent, there is nothing left for a car repair, let alone an emergency fund, and certainly nothing left to actually enjoy life. The result is a profound sense of nihilism. If working 40 to 60 hours a week does not even guarantee you a roof over your head and food in your fridge, then what is the point? Why play by the rules if the rules guarantee that you will lose? That is the question more and more people are asking themselves every single morning when their alarm goes off. The cultural shift resulting from this is massive. A generation is collectively deciding that if they cannot afford a home, a family, or a future, they will stop sacrificing their present. They will take that money and spend it on a decent meal or a minor comfort, because saving for a house that goes up in price by $50,000 a year is a mathematical impossibility. This is often framed by critics as financial irresponsibility, but it is not. It is a logical response to an irrational economy. Life has not been the same since 2020, we all know it. But it is not just the culture that changed. The basic economic physics of this country changed. Before 2020, things were getting more expensive, but the increases felt somewhat gradual. You could plan around them. After 2020, it feels as though the floor fell out. Corporations realized that they could raise prices under the cover of supply chain disruptions, and then they simply never lowered them. They realized that the American consumer would absorb the cost because they had no other choice. You cannot boycott electricity, you cannot boycott groceries, you cannot boycott gas to get to your job. And so the prices stayed high. The profits hit record levels, and the ordinary citizen was left holding the bag. People are waking up to this reality. They are realizing that this was not an accident, it was a transfer of wealth. And they are getting incredibly angry. They are tired of being told the economy is doing great when their own personal economy is in shambles. The data shows that while inflation may have officially cooled on paper, the cumulative effect of the last few years has permanently altered the landscape. A 10% increase on top of a 15% increase is not a recovery. It is a new devastating permanent reality. And every time a politician or an economist goes on television to brag about how resilient the consumer is, what they are really doing is praising the American family for quietly enduring financial pain. In the end, someone has to absorb the cost of a system that demands infinite profit from finite wages. That cost is not being paid by the institutions, it is not being paid by the corporations posting record quarters, it is being paid at the kitchen table, it is being paid in the stress of a parent trying to stretch a gallon of milk, it is being paid in the silent panic of a father opening a medical bill, it is paid in the exhaustion of the working class. And if you are trying to raise a family in America today, you already know exactly who is footing the bill. Thanks for watching. Support links are in the description and on screen.